Make sure you're muted. Hello. How y'all doing? Welcome to the live coin Q&A show. We're glad to have all of our coin family here, and welcome you all. So we're going to change some things up a little bit tonight. I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves, and then we're going to get right to the coin questions and showing pictures and talking about the coins. And then later on the show, we have some exciting news to share for you. So you want to stick around for that. And then we're going to do our normal discussion topic towards the end of the show. And just to let you know, tonight's topic is what to do to prepare before you go as a buyer to a coin show. So that's going to be tonight's discussion topic. So we hope you guys enjoy the show. Thank you for being here. And with that said, I'll just go with Blue Ridge. Sean, you want to introduce yourself and all that jazz?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Blue Ridge Sean here. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for coming back for more. That's why I'm here. Coins is my life. These days, well, I'll just speak in general. You know, in general, I collect a lot of U.S. type. I like to hunt for varieties. As a matter of fact, this week I was going through probably 2-3 years worth. It's like a bucket of this size of a bunch of RPMs. There's a few like minor DDOs in there, a bunch of errors, you know, laminations and stuff. So I'm carding them and cataloging them, and it's all fun. It can't get any more of a pile than it is right now. But I do stuff like that. These days I'm working on a US type set. So that's a lot of fun. And I just picked up a piece dollar album. I was thinking about doing like a low ball set with like holes drilled in them and all that great stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, thanks for coming. And can't wait for the big, huge news tonight.
Jeff?
I'll go next. My name is Jeff Stanley, and I collect coins. I collect all kinds, world, U.S. My primary focus is U.S., and I further focus and specialize on varieties. And then, you know, series I collect are Indian heads, Lincoln Wheats and Memorials and Shields, and Jefferson nickels, and I definitely get into all the other series, the classic series as well. Buffalo nickels, pretty heavy into those. Liberty Walking $50. I'm down to bust have some of the older stuff. I really enjoy collecting that. Probably the only series that I'm not too keen on would probably be silver dollars. I try to stay away from those just because I like to afford more than what I could get my dollar to stretch with the silver dollars.
All right. And Adam C, Coins and Ghouls.
Hey everyone. So I collect a lot of Lincoln cents, $50, Benjamin $50, lots of varieties. I like to cherry pick the varieties out of OBW rolls. In fact, last week I found 7 inverted S 46S Lincoln cents, which are actually pretty scarce. But that's what I enjoy. I enjoy cherry picking off eBay and shows, and I really enjoy it. And I'm glad you're all here tonight.
All right. Thank you, Adam. And last but not least, Carl or Seamus Omaha.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Carl, and I'm a new panel member. I think this is maybe my 6th or 7th live stream with these folks. And it's still a privilege to be here. And I'm about 2.5 years into starting collecting again, and this time in the range of varieties and errors. I specialize in Lincoln Memorial cents and going through BU rolls of those. I dabbled into circulated quarters, looking for quarter varieties. I collect modern U.S. coinage in albums and have almost complete sets of those, but things I'm missing and haven't started yet are the early nickels, dimes, and quarters, like Mercury dimes, Buffalo nickels, Standing Liberty quarters, Walking Liberty halves. Going to start some albums on those. So that'll be a new thing for me. And that's all I have about me.
All right, and you guys know me, Shay Hoffmaster, also known as Mantic Coins. I had a $50 search coin show for a while, teaching people about varieties, looking for stuff other than just that silver. I have been on a hiatus for quite some time to put together another site that I'm going to unveil to the world soon, I hope. But I've been working feverishly on that every day. And other than that, I love varieties. I love doubled dyes and repunch mint marks and repunch dates and just about every variety I can get my hands on. But I have a special place in my heart for 2 cents. 2 cent pieces, Civil War. Basically, I think way underrated for a coin. I think they can be very beautiful. They're not too expensive, but you can get really pricey for a couple of the keys. But I think they're just beautiful coins. Copper. Following that copper, I do like Lincoln cents and been studying those quite a bit. Documenting over 3,000 memorial varieties and over 2,800 wheat varieties. So there's a lot to be found, and that is just, I don't think that's all of them. I think there's plenty more to be found, and I'm sure some panel members here have found some stuff that is not listed anywhere. So you can find stuff if you look. Anyway, let me get ready for jumping in here. As I said, we're going to share our big news towards the end of the showing all the coins, and then have our discussion topic of what to do to prepare for a coin show. So glad you all are here. If you can, please hit the subscribe button and like and share it with your friends. We ask for that so you can support us. And we also have some t-shirts and hats left on the website that you can definitely support us by purchasing those. And they're really comfortable. You can see our hats, shirts. We have short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirts. These are just for the panel, but there you go.
I suppose it's about time for me to subscribe.
Yeah,
That would help.
that would help.
That way you know when you're on.
I mean, you do have the cool Batman counter stab Lincoln, so
I've always been the last one to know when I'm on the air.
All right, who wants to read this one?
Me. I'm first. Chris H. says, find of the week. After searching 2.5 million Lincoln cents in the last 6 years, I lost count after 3. I finally found one. Check it out. 1988 WTRD number 3, Konica die number 5.
Almost there.
Yeah, the suspense. Whew.
$1988. Look at that. Looks like he's got some clashing going on.
yeah.
We got a gap between A and M, as is normal. Look at that.
Ooh,
All right.
Very nice.
lovely.
So you got the serifs on that. So that is the 1989 design, if you didn't know. So to find it on an 88 is pretty cool.
So is that Wexler transitional reverse die? Is that what the WTRD? Is that a Wexler listing?
That's a good question.
That is a really good question.
So I'm pretty sure RDV is Variety Vista or Coneca, but Wexler, Chris does use Wexler a lot. So transitional designs, and right there at the top,
I'm trying to figure it out, like reading a license plate. What does that stand for?
Yeah, he called it LMRD. Let's see. Normal reverse for the 88 cents was used on all circulations. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe.
What was the number he had in there?
He had WTRD.
I read it and I don't even remember.
Yeah, that's the Wexler designation.
Okay.
Coin Dragon says it's a FM channel, plays classic rock.
So
all the time.
Since that initial discovery, 7 different transitional working dies have been identified for the 88p mint cents in the Wexler die variety files. They are identified as 1988 1 cent WTRD 1 through 7. Cool.
Chris is in the house and he said it's a Wexler listing.
Very good. Well, very cool, Chris.
And those are just cool. And not a lot of people are looking for them, but they're tough to find. I have not found one yet, but I have not been religious about my penny searches.
Isn't there the opposite? Now you can find this on Philly and Denver, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I have a Denver, and I probably searched 4,000 1988 Ds over in my neck of the woods before I found my first one. And it's not even that great a shape. I mean, this one looks pretty good. Not bad.
So, yeah, Wexler goes on to say, after talking about the D, says the 11 million transitional design coins out of a total mintage of 5.2 billion coins for the 1988 D cents. So 1 in every 478 D mint. And that's probably dropped substantially since they're half of them end up in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And there's zinc.
Mm-hmm.
Probably deteriorating.
Oh, there it is. 003. Got it.
Is there an 89 with an 88 reverse?
Yeah.
Or is it and then there's a proof one too, isn't there? An 89 proof.
Not on the Wexler listing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good article. Let's see. Did anybody? Let me post that link for Wexler so everybody can look at it. Transitional designs. There we go. All right. Very good, Chris. Thank you for sharing.
Fantastic find. Congrats.
Who wants to read that one?
I'll read that one. Don B. Questions, Morgan Dollar. My name is Don Baird from Morristown, Tennessee. Today I went with my mom to her safety deposit box and she had a boatload of old coins. I have stuff dating back to the 1800s and up. I have all denominations and conditions. What do I do now to find a guide or value or something? She tells me that there's a silver dollar in there that has been struck 3 times. So the search begins. I just really don't have a clue what I'm looking for or looking at. Any help or direction would be awesome. Thank you. follow-up. My mom is telling me that they got the coin around 1958 to 1960-ish. We have had it from that time. It weighs 26 grams.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That is jacked.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Like a jackpot right there. That's a lot of money there. Ooh.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I've seen a double struck, and it wasn't even that impressive, but the price was certainly ridiculous. I can't even imagine what a triple
Yeah.
struck.
I mean, it's got to be high.
How did it circulate this long like that?
And that's in collar, no flip over, I believe.
Wow. Oh, that's like one of those you open up a roll and find that. Oh my God, I can only imagine.
Yeah, that's a total junk silver cherry pick right there.
Wow.
Now, you don't think that this could be some sort of counterfeit or modified dye or anything?
That's a great question, Shay.
I mean, the only way to know, I would, you would need to send it off.
1921, huh?
You might be able to shop it at like a show or something.
Yeah, you could do that.
I think that might be safer, as kind of a, if there's a show that's nearby. I'm not sure how close that is.
It seems like the rotations match obverse and reverse. Same degrees for each strike.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like more design would be obliterated with each strike.
What about the motto? Is there evidence in the motto as well?
E pluribus unum.
Yeah.
Get up close. Like, look at that nose, Whoops. Like,
Yeah.
there's no final nose. There should be. And it's on both sides.
Yeah, did you see the denticles? It's even doubled.
Yeah.
Right there. You see that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you would definitely need somebody to look at this and just make sure it's authentic, because if it's, it could be a counterfeit. Very possible.
Yeah.
I looked up where he's at. It would be a little bit of a drive, a couple hours, but there's a show this weekend in Dalton, Georgia. I'm going to look up on the vendor or the list and see if there's an error specialist who can take a look.
If there's a grading company there, they don't usually have somebody that specializes in that stuff usually, right?
Annex is supposed to be there.
But usually it's just like people that help out with.
It's usually just the interns or whatever that are doing like the intake, and then it's usually what I see at the smaller shows. But this isn't too small of a show. It's a decent sized show.
It's kind of neat that she's been holding on to it for over 60 years.
Yes.
In a safe deposit box. There's stuff out there that never has seen the light of day.
Yeah.
Does the weight of the coin make a difference? Does 26 grams?
That's the weight.
It's not too light.
Mm-mm.
I'm almost inclined to say, how about we send a message to Weinberg and see what he says about it.
I wonder why the letters don't show the same effect.
Yeah, that should have been another test. We should have asked him to stick a magnet to it.
Well, you can see on the United there, you can see it's doubled there.
Yeah, and I could also see it on Pluribus on the
Oh
opera.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
there it is.
I mean, I'm not saying it just needs to be looked at by somebody, a specialist, or even a grading company. I mean, you could spend a little bit of money and send it to Annex. It's not going to cost you that much, or even NGC wouldn't cost you a whole lot either. So, I just have somebody look at it and see.
What would you insure it for if you were mailing it that way?
Well, I mean, whatever you can afford to lose, I guess, is what I usually insure.
Or
Yeah.
what you can afford to pay for insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely check for silver and
Yeah. Yeah, and they'll do all that test at the grading company too. You know, they'll check and make sure that you know. But if it's a legitimate error, then boy, it's I mean, you're talking some serious money.
Yeah, I don't see any error specialist on the dealer list. Annex is supposed to be there.
You could save yourself money on that shipping if you go to the show and take it to them and have them print it off. You won't have to ship it. So,
But you might have to pay for hotel and gas and
yeah.
He's a couple hours away.
but you'll have confidence that it's not gonna get lost in the mail.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. If it were me, I certainly wouldn't necessarily entertain offers like right off the bat.
No.
Going in and showing it, I would go strictly for authentication at this point.
And this would be a single event, right? The press wouldn't make multiples of this at one time. This is a one-time occurrence.
Pretty much. I mean,
It looks exactly like that anyway.
Yeah, and I looked through a bunch of VAMs looking for this specifically, and the closest I got was a couple of clashes, but not like this at all. I mean, it had some of the funky lips on the front.
yeah, I mean, that offer is just crazy.
But yeah, this is nuts.
So I threw up Nico's comment on here. I mean, you can ship this coin. When you do a high dollar submission through PCGS or NGC, they encourage you to send this out
Registered.
Registered mail where you're covered up to $50,000, I believe.
It's 50. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That would be my choice, and you would do yourself right by doing that. Anyways.
Yeah, because if you ship it regular insured mail and it gets lost, they will not cover it if it's a coin. So it has to be shipped registered, where you have to use the paper tape and all that. You have to seal up all the edges, and then you have to ship it registered.
Are we talking VG, VF, AU?
Sure, all three of those. My inclination, like a VF35 XF40, it's deceiving because a lot of the devices are obliterated by just the additional strikes. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell, but if you were basing it off of the detail and the hair and the all that stuff, I'm confident in thinking that it'd be somewhere in that general area grade wise.
Does it look cleaned?
That it could. Coins were cleaned quite extensively, back in the day. So if it was cleaned, I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow.
100 years old.
Yeah, great coin for
I mean, who had shared that Indian scent that was double struck? Was that you, Blue Ridge?
Maybe.
It was. I can't remember, but it went like for crazy amounts of money, if I remember right.
Yeah. I have one in my collection that was my dad's that I've held on to for 30 years.
Wow.
1902. It's graded AU 55. So it's not this Morgan. I can tell you that right now. But this for a 100-year anniversary would be awesome. This coin, if legit, will be on Coin World.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here, folks. It's going to be on Live Coin, but yeah, this is like a newsworthy type of coin, if and only if it comes out, clean.
It's half the fun of it is the story behind finding it. I think everybody likes a good story, but this in particular has a really cool story with it.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. There's some provenance in this by knowing the history of how it was found, and it's just it's exciting, and yeah, I can't wait to know more. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
whatever happens, we'll keep everyone informed.
On that note, thank you very much for sending this in, Don.
Yes,
and I wish you the best of luck with the rest of that collection, that hoard of coins that your grandma has, and I hope you have a lot of fun searching through it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know what else is in there. if it's something else that cool.
Who wants to read this one?
Oh, see, I'll read this one from our friend, the Coinstipated. Almost said the other one. Texan. This is for a 1952 D Lincoln cent. Might this be a dropped letter?
Hmm.
James Eubank says that would be cool if it was in Coin World. That would be 2 recent ones for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, James, what was the other one? No, I'm just kidding.
Next week, I'm bringing donuts for everybody.
Adrian
Virtual donuts.
shouted from the other room, "I want donuts." So Paula has stated that this is a dropped letter.
Which letter do you think?
I'm going with O.
I think it's a lowercase j.
I'd like to buy a vowel, please.
Like, wait, there's a lowercase j in any of them.
Maybe the O of
Of, yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Going
What a
back.
D? Could it be a D a little bit, maybe?
I started thinking the D, but I think that I don't think the angle, the arc
Maybe
would
it's rounded.
match up. But
Well, it would have to be one of the reverse devices, right, in order for it to be a drop letter on the reverse. I think.
Yeah, because so it's falling out. How would the coin flip over? Well, how would it get between? It get on the other side of the coin unless it fell out first, because this is a reverse. So it fell out, coin went in, and it was struck.
It
So
could
how
fall.
it wouldn't have gotten on. It wouldn't have jumped up to go on the obverse. Right?
It could fall off the hammer die onto the reverse die.
Yeah, in between the transition from one planchet to the next.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
even when they just shut the press off for a while and
Very cool. Constipated. I'm feeling a little bit constipated today. Anybody else?
Too much bananas and cheese, Shay?
Yes.
I'm
You nailed it.
or too many coins. Too much coins in your life. As you can see, guys, we like to have fun.
Oh,
But
we
not
do.
too much fun because this is serious business.
All right. Well, congratulations on your drop letter. Thank you for sending that in. Great pictures. Great picture.
If you talk to my wife, she'd say I have too many coins. That's why I have to sneak them into the front door.
Oh man.
I want to read Kimberly's.
All right, go for it.
Kimberly B says has a 2020 Salt River Bay quarter. I have opened several BU rolls of Salt River Bay quarters lately and found several with this abnormality. Can you explain this to me, please? Found between ear and hair.
Hold on a second. Disaster.
Bomb out on a zip file.
Yeah.
Is Kimberly in here tonight? Shout out, Kimberly.
I did want to thank everybody who's in chat tonight. We see Wanda and Cindelicious is helping us out. Brandon Smith, James Eubanks, of course, Kevin Dobbs. Trying not to miss anybody. Scott Holiday. Nico K.
It's a very star-studded panel of folks in chat tonight.
Some new folks, some of the usual cast of characters, which is always fun.
Don't forget Ant's in here. He wasn't here, right?
Yeah, I did see Ann earlier. Yeah. Welcome. All right, what is that? Little clash?
Yeah. So I think it's right on it. You guys want me to do any fancy overlays or anything?
We thought you would never ask.
Is this north and south yet? You rotated
Yeah, let me see if I can
to the compass.
That's what the ATBs. I mean, the other your Washington quarters, you can almost memorize those. You don't need to do those as much. But these changing designs, it's a little bit tougher to think of how it all lines up.
All right, let's see what we need to do.
So we got a clash, not doubling on the earlobes in that area.
Yeah, we'll take. How about we do it like this? We'll do.
It's strange to have a clash in such a low point in the die, isn't it?
Yes. I think that area is sort of lower relief than the ear and the hair, so it's a little bit higher.
It's not as shallow.
Yeah. It's certainly not the depth of the lowest point, and it might even be one of the higher points on the portrait.
And maybe it's one of the high points on the reverse design in that area.
Oh, Lordy.
So it's probably going to be one of these mangrove leaves.
Good enough. All right.
I just see an hourglass. If you stare at the middle of the picture,
Yeah, so I'm going to make a layer via copy, go down here, turn that off, go over here, copy that
You're a master, Shay. I can't.
here.
I cannot do Photoshop on the fly.
Go over here and put that right there. And then do some magic like image rotation 180. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do.
Hold on.
Oh, darn it. I have to manually do it. Gee whiz. All right, so now I get it there. And then what we'll do is we'll flip it. Flip horizontal. And now one last step, and that's to change the opacity down so we can see it. And zoom in. So there, you can see the ear. So it's right about there. And it's the same shape right here. See that?
It's one of the mangrove roots.
Yeah. So I guess this shape right here should pick black, solid. Okay. Yep. Anyway, all right. I don't want to torture you guys anymore, but it fits right inside of that mangrove right there. And let's go back to the picture.
Interesting.
Bingo.
would that be a tilted die clash or just straight die clash?
I think it's straight on. It fits pretty much perfectly there.
If it's tilted, it would be more around the perimeter of the coin.
Yeah, or I think it has to be what, over 90 degrees? Or 45, I can't remember. But that's cool.
Kimberly found a few of these, she said.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
That certainly is a diagnostic for that being a repeatable act, something that's repeatable on the die itself.
So that is nowhere else to be found outside of that area around the ear, huh? Nothing in the fields or anywhere on the neck or on the reverse.
That's a good point. I would definitely take a few of them and do a wider tour through the whole coin. Make sure you don't have something else, and definitely don't discount the reverse either, because you might see some clashing of hairlines or the ear itself.
Yeah, just kind of shimmy the light across the surface of the coin as you maybe rotate it back and forth, or like tilt it a little bit, and look at the surface. I know there's a lot of Kennedys out there that people don't hardly ever see the clashes on the neck and under the ear, and those are pretty neat to find in the late 90s, early 2000s. So there's stuff like that out there.
Right. Yeah, it's lighting can either be your friend or your enemy with clashes. For instance, I found a coin one time, didn't even realize it was a clash. I was just posting something else, the RPM or whatever on the coin, and I had to have somebody point out that the picture I took actually revealed a clash. I didn't even pay that close to the picture I took. It just so happened that the flash of my iPhone and the angle I shot it at highlighted the clash on that link sent.
So Paula sent the exact link. It's TDC 25C 2020-01. and it's got the overlay and everything. So I guess I didn't have to do all that work.
Wow, they've been keeping up with this site, haven't they?
But there is a little bit more just south of that spot that I guess we can't see on our coin that it's showing. It's like,
Could you zoom in to where the chin meets the throat? That line in that area by the Adam's apple on this photo.
let's see.
It looks like a couple of parallel lines right in there, right there north of the Adam's apple.
Oh, on the I see.
Here?
Yeah.
It's
Could that be
possible that could be a fingerprint.
I think that's a little damaged. But you see this line here? That's on that listing.
You think a lot of the glass has been polished away already?
As well as this.
Do they bother doing that nowadays? Polish away the clashes and reuse the dye, or do they just make a new?
It's pretty hard to polish in those recesses, but
So
I guess it's possible.
If there were clash marks in the field,
Yeah.
just a remnant of not being polished away, is it a possibility?
Possibly. I don't see any dye abrasion on the coin, but I don't have a lot of pics of the field, so let me poke around. Yeah, I don't see a lot of dye abrasion going on visible.
And you may not in this light angle. A loop might show them up.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Everybody keep an eye out for those.
Yeah, very nice. I'm going to add that one to my list to look for. Thank you for sharing with us.
I kept a roll of those. I kept one roll of Phillies and one roll of Denvers. I'm going to have to go through.
All right. Let me get the next one ready here.
That just further solidifies the year of 2020, the year of mint boo-boos.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot more that are going to surface.
All right, who's got this one?
I got that one. Scott H. Book error. I have something unique I would like to share with the coin community. I have seen coins with errors and varieties and currency with errors. But how about Cherry Picker's Guide? Hope you like it.
Fifth edition. We got some paper folding going on. Now that's not the error, but this is. That's awesome.
Hey, it's a little butterfly.
Hey.
How cute.
Nice find.
What is that going to be considered? A retained paper?
Well, in currency, it's a they call it a butterfly fold. So obviously there was a fold in the sheet before they printed the notes.
Reminds me of a Merriam-Webster dictionary my mom got me for a Christmas present one year from Reader's Digest, and it was missing about 85 pages in the section of G. I only found out because there was something that started with a G I wanted to go look for. I said, there's 85 pages missing in this, Mom.
And little did you know that would have so much to do with your career later on. As a coin hunter.
She insisted on sending it back to Reader's Digest and getting a real one.
Back in the day when you had like Encyclopedia Britannica, Reader's Digest salesmen come to the door and stuff.
Yeah.
So this was folded after printing and then cut. Is that what it was? Because it looks like the printing might be right.
Yeah, it jammed somewhere to where it folded after the print. You're exactly right, and then cut because I was in the print industry for 10 years, and the way that we do these type of books is we print them double-sided, and then we actually do what they call a book cut, where we actually trim all of the pages together like one stack for a book. We trim all three edges where you're not going to have the binding holes.
Okay.
So that's something very similar. Sometimes a page will be folded and it'll get cut and then
Makes it all nice and consistent usually and gets rid of the editor marks and stuff.
yeah.
Did Scott ask if there was a premium to this?
Well, I know Rick from Pawn Stars. If you bring this to him, he'll still give you $50 for it.
Meanwhile, you could sell it on eBay for $150, right?
Yeah, but Rick is taking all the liability with this. Isn't that what he usually does? He's got to pay for advertising. He has employees that he has to pay and listing and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, if you didn't know, these books are going for quite a premium if you try to find one. So we suggest that you just stick with the digital edition and wait for the new version to come out.
Yeah, it's very highway robberish, if that's a good analogy. So yeah, if you don't need to buy these on the secondary market, I would wait.
I think Scott, along with everybody else, is surprised that this made the live stream.
Yeah.
Oh, why not?
That's right.
This is a reference that we talk about and everybody else talks about. So it's all in good fun.
And they misspelled stereoscope. No extra premium.
Everybody's trying to read the small print.
Made you look.
Yeah, it's a page he's talking about Bosch and on Hastings triplet 7X. There you go. Now, so there's a point at which a variety is a little too minor, but I don't think 7X. I don't know. Use 7X for grading a coin, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to go any further when you're grading, but for varieties, I know I use like 30 and 60 and 90 sometimes. But I'm looking for all varieties, whether they're valued $1 or $10 or $1,000. So, all right. Next, thank you very much for sending that in, Scott. That was a nice change up from the normal.
It fits. It's the cherry picker's guide after all.
Eric Morris had a comment in the chat. He says, talking to Joe Cronin yesterday about his book, and he mentioned a couple typos. I pointed out to him that it is an error book after all. Way to go, Eric.
Yeah, you have to put some Easter eggs in an error book. Who wants to read this?
I'll read this one from TNBIG Dave. I hope I got Tennessee Big Dave. Okay,
Yep,
that's what that means. This is the blankety blank Roosevelt dime, because we can't use those words. How about the super blankety blank error dime? Think it might have value to the right collector?
Isn't that perfectly placed?
Yeah.
You get shot in Texas for that. A little bit up here into the R too.
It doesn't look like the blankety blank variety. It looks like this poor Rosie had a little bit too much of that Tennessee whiskey you guys have out there.
He's got fire lips.
You're thinking Technicolor yawn?
Oh,
Yeah, it looks like it's got some grease on it. Struck through grease.
Just finished off that last bit of shine.
Yeah.
Struck through grease.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. I think that was a 2018 D. In case you guys search Rosie's. A little bit on the face too.
Yeah, and in the neck area.
Mm-hmm.
Are there reverse images?
No, just the two. It'd be nice
Yeah, but sometimes it'll show up on the reverse also.
Yeah. Kind of like that starbursty pattern.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember seeing a lot of it on, the Acadia quarters when they first came out. They had that strike through grease starbursty pattern on that one too.
You see that on a lot of wheat scents also.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
All right. Well, thank you for sending that in, Tennessee Big Dave. Very cool find.
Paula has more information on Don Baird's Morgenthaler.
Oh, yeah?
She said that she contacted Mike Diamond, and he said it appears to be an in-color triple strike with two of the strikes very close together.
Wow.
It has the appearance of a genuine error, but anything this exotic needs to be examined under a microscope.
Mm-hmm.
He said he will be happy to examine it.
Of course.
Wow.
So,
Wow. That's
Don,
cool.
Don, if you're out there, we'll give you Mike Diamond's contact information in an email.
That's crazy.
Time to reserve your plane tickets.
Yeah, man.
That coin is not leaving my possession.
Do we know where Mike Diamond lives? In the general area?
That
State?
is totally exciting.
Paula will know. We'll ask Paula. We'll get you the contact, Don.
I'm not worried about Mr. Diamond. He's held some pretty gnarly errors in his lifetime. So, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on to the next one. So the next one, Adam, you get to read.
Oh, okay.
That was amazing, Scott. That the owner of that coin has had that for, what is it, 60 years plus?
Yep.
Okay, so this is in regards to a 1865 Indian cent on that I found cherry picking eBay last week. So good evening, everyone. I thought I would share something I discovered last week cherry picking off eBay. I found this beautiful 1865 Indian cent with the fancy 5. I looked close and thought, wow, I just found the FS 1302, which is Snow 4, according to the Cherry Picker Guide. If you look at the pictures in the Cherry Picker Guide, it clearly matches the coin I purchased. When I asked Shay and Jeff for die markers, I realized my coin is actually Snow 5. Then I started looking at NGC Variety Plus and PCGS Coin Facts and compared the attributed examples, and they have both examples of Snow 4 and 5 as the listed cherry picker variety. Created a lot of confusion in my brain. If I sent the coin to PCGS, would they attribute the variety as the FS listed variety or just send it back with no attribution? NGC does recognize both varieties, but would I get my money back out of the coin for the lesser variety, which was the intended variety for the cherry picker guy, Snow 4 not pictured, or Snow 5 pictured but not printed? Thank you all.
Dude, this has got to be, I mean, this is just hotness. Look at that. That thing is gorgeous. Good Lord.
It's got
Frank.
luster. It's got a decent strike on it. It's got wood.
It's a beautiful coin.
Fancy 5.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I care. It's such a beautiful coin. Oh my god. Okay, so I guess I should switch over to there's a slab. Oh man. Do you have a close up of the reverse too? Oh, okay.
So this is clearly Snow 5. If you look at the picture in the cherry picker guide, it clearly matches Snow 5. But it says Snow 4 is the cherry picker variety. So there's an error in a cherry picker guide.
See, it seems to be a common theme tonight, right?
Yeah. And I think NGC is confused too, because if you look at the photos of both varieties, they have the same photo of Snow 5. That's Snow 5.
With this die crack going
Yes.
on here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just creating more confusion because I'm like, okay, so NGC thinks, is it Snow 5? Is it Snow 4? So they put both on there. They just used one photo.
That's awesome.
So anyway, it created a lot of confusion in my brain. I'm like, oh, because I did spend a little money for it. I mean, I spent $525 on that coin.
Oh yeah, it was
And I think it's worth it. But the thing is, I'm like, I'd like to get the variety put on the label, but I might have to just cross it to NGC and have them do it just to maybe try to get them to, attribute it with the FS, 1302 variety. But
Would you submit it with references? Is what you probably need to do.
yeah,
Make
but it is a Snow 5, which according to that's not in the cherry picker's guide as the variety that is listed. But did they make a mistake? Did they intend on it putting the Snow 5 in there and they just printed Snow 4? Or, that's what I want to know, but I don't know who to contact and ask them.
What, Ken Potter? Would he know? Is one of the co-authors?
Well, FIVA, Bill FIVA, he would know, right?
Well, yeah, he would know cherry picker. Honestly, I would refer back to Richard Snow if I had to pull somebody in, an expert, and I would pull in Richard Snow, who wrote the Snow book.
Does he do attributions?
Yes, yeah, he did. He did my. You could send him in. He's not expensive, like $5 or something.
Yeah, so
Maybe
you could get a letter.
maybe he's $10, but
and then send that to NGC and just have them fix their little issue.
yeah. But I would, you're not going to discredit the cherry picker's guy. The cherry picker's guy does it, but they're doing a wide assortment and variety of coins with a lot of different experts in weighing in on what goes in the book, what comes out of the book, what picture goes with what. You've got editors you're dealing with. I'm willing to trust the Snow Guide a little bit more, just because that's their specialty. That's what they know. That's what they do.
Right.
So Richard Snow would give you a letter in reply saying this is what that is.
Yes, yeah, he would do that. Or if it was something that just happened to be brand new, he would come back and say it's a new discovery and send you kind of like a letter you'd get back from Wexler or Brian Rybar.
Right.
I wanted to ask everybody, when you grade a coin, do you ever notice that there's always stuff in between the slab and the coin? I never understand why.
They can't
do
it right. Yeah.
Like a piece of like lint.
Yes.
Yeah, like lint or mustard from somebody's lunch, and
it feels like, oh, do I need to crack it? Because I don't want that, just damaging the coin. If it sits on there.
A little lint sitting on top of it. Yeah. So, or what if it's rotated a little bit? Yeah. It drives me nuts.
I have to try it takes a lot for me to do this because I'm slightly OCD, but I have to try to ignore it and get it out of my head. Otherwise, it'll make me insane, especially if it's not rotated correctly in the slab.
You would think that if they were hermetically sealing these things, that they would do it in somewhat a clean room. But I guess, people probably send the coins in and all sorts of things get fluff gets everywhere.
The reverse is really nice too. Did you look at that one yet? I should have sent it. I thought I sent it.
I don't think I have the reverse in the slab, but I don't think I have. No, I do. It's just not here. I got it. I don't know.
Fingernail in the slab.
There it is.
Fingernails. Oh, it's Papa Giorgio. All right, so that's just gorgeous.
So, I mean, I think I'll probably get my money out of it. You know, if I can have NBC put the variety on the label. I don't even know what that would sell for if it, ever came up for auction. Because I can't find a whole lot of information on Snow 5s that have sold. That's the problem.
That might be something for Richard Snowden. A question to him when you send it to him, if you do. Make me an offer, Richard.
Super Soros Kittle says, if you use an electric toothbrush against the slab, the vibrations will turn it. Oh. That's funny.
I mean, it's in great condition for its age. So, I mean,
it's gorgeous, man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the grade on the label. I didn't even look at that. I was looking at
red brown.
That's to be loved and cherished. I don't know if I could get rid of that car.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
See, that would go straight into my collection just because I don't.
I think I am going to keep it. I just don't know how to. I don't know where I should go. I was thinking just going to NGC and just having them cross it. So.
Yeah. I mean, if you need to, I can always. Well, you already got a picture of Snow's book. You can send them the 2 pictures in the mail with it.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, do this right. Update your list.
Well, is it so much? Is it Snow's? Like, did Snow mess up? And I mean,
nah.
I don't think he would have messed up.
Nah, I don't think so.
Don't tell him I gave you pictures out of the book. He'll get rid of my Snow privileges. I'm kidding.
It's possible that maybe it pops up in the next Cherry Pickers guide. You never know.
Maybe.
It's true. I mean, they switched that stuff up.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Jeff.
Papa Giorgio says it probably costs extra to have that lint in the slab, so don't ask for it. You can't afford it.
I'll go ahead and get this one. This one is one I took a look at, and I have to say I'm a little perplexed, but we'll try to figure this out. 1964D Jefferson nickel RPM. Hey, panel. Again, thank you for all you do, as one day I aspire to have my own rolls of toilet paper made out of money like an unnamed panel member, even though I think it would be rather scratchy and not give full coverage, but I digress.
Who is he talking about? What is he insinuating here?
I don't know. Is that
Hey, that counterfeit strip is surprisingly therapeutic on the old you-know-what.
He's talking about Blue Ridge.
Who's that?
I found this nickel at my local coin shop and grabbed it in hopes of an RPM. Upon further inspection, I cannot connect this to any that I'm seeing out there in my searches. It resembles a few, but I cannot find the correct dye markers. I have tried to take pictures in all spots, and I believe dye markers may be mentioned in hopes that you all can perhaps help me figure it out. Is this truly an RPM, and is it attributed anywhere? Any thoughts, and thanks again. All right, so it's a 1964.
There we go. That's the one I should have started with.
And it's typical for 64. No, if any, steps, just because they were poorly struck back then.
Got lots of dyed. Look at those
Yeah.
flow lines.
And that's the challenge with nickels. right? I have a difficult time with nickel RPM simply because by the lot, especially Jefferson's, the dye deterioration looks like doubling. It looks like RPMs. It's a tough series to try to find certain varieties.
You know, that dye deterioration on both sides of the letter.
Yeah.
Great pictures, Shan.
Yes. Flow lines coming off of the portrait and the hair right there.
All right, so we got that
We got that view there where we see just what looks like to be a little bit of part of a mint mark inside of the D, and a little bit going, kind of going west with the secondary mint mark, which is not the primary one that you see. That's the picture right there. You could see the split on the vertical. Possibly a little bit of a split serif up at the top. I cannot match it up. The closest I got was on Wexler's, his RPM 003, but it would have to be a different dye state for that to be true.
I mean, I see what looks like a little bit of notching on that upper serif, a little bit. But it could just be the lighting.
It's a tough call.
You know, the 64D RPM, though, that's in the Cherry Picker's Guide is very scarce and very valuable if you can find it.
Yeah. That's fairly pronounced, and that's what you're going to find. This compared to a Cherry Picker's variety, there's going to be something that's very that stands out, either in the popularity of it, or it's going to be the just the overall eye appeal of the actual variety.
Yeah, I think it could be dye wear. It's very possible with the the nickel, the way it's all the dye wear.
You could see there. I mean, it's got some dye wear issues on it. Just that little bit inside of the hollow is got me thinking RPM, and then that little bit on the vertical in the back. I just don't see it list. I just can't find a listing for it.
Yeah.
There's a lot for 64D, aren't there?
At least 7 I know of.
There's 7 on Variety Vista, and I believe 5 on Wexler. I might be wrong about Wexler.
Why doesn't Rybar have RPMs other than the ones he just has for sale? Like,
I have no idea why they split it up like that.
But he lists all. He has all the double dyes. But
he does every single one of the double dyes for Jefferson nickels, but he just sticks to the double dyes. For some reason.
He does the work for Wexler, right?
Yes.
And then Wiles does his own.
Wiles does his own.
Used to do his own, I should say.
Well, yeah, he used to manage the Coneca files that they originally got from Wexler. So,
I mean, there are still new varieties out there to be found. I mean, I've all kinds of nickels that new varieties. So even I found that 54D, double dye reverse that was pretty crazy with the steps at the bottom that were just kind of right in your face. So you can still find that stuff.
I've got a 49S that I need to send Rybar that's sitting in a slab that has doubling off of the steps.
All right, and we got one more for tonight, and then we'll get to our big news and our discussion.
Yeah, Nico K mentioned Discovery, send it in. Wexler would do that. He's
backed up.
very
It's
yeah.
gonna take a while.
I've got a quarter that's been sitting
Yeah.
there for a couple months now.
Yeah, it's gonna take a
No.
while.
Would you send directly to Rybar then, or not?
I think he just does the. I think he just does the double.
He
dive.
does the double dies. He doesn't do the RPMs.
Yeah, at least that's the way they list them. It's a good question though. I wonder if he would do the RPM if we sent him.
And Wiles is really, I mean, well, when he was doing it, it was really strict on what he would allow and wouldn't allow. So
he was pretty curt with. I had
Yeah.
reached out about some of my Rybar discoveries. I was asking if he was interested in adding them to his listings because a couple of them were pretty strong for 2019, and he said it'd have to be pretty impressive for him to even list it.
Shannon, I think you could just you could go you could look and see if Wexler is accepting those for attribution or not, or if he mentions who to send them to, and then I think you can also go to Kaneka online and find a name of who's doing the attributions over there as well.
If my suggestion is if you send it to Rybar's got a 3 coin limit. Just so you can save a little bit on the submission, put that to the side and let it sit. Surely you'll find like a 2020 or 2021 that DDR that maybe you can go ahead and get more bang for your buck.
Shipping costs.
Just to. Let's see, where is his?
Who hasn't done one in a while? Who wants to do this one?
I'll do this one. It's a 1960D set with rippled planchet from some unknown guy.
Oh, it's from Shannon.
Oh, is it Shannon?
Yeah, I need to fix that.
Hey guys, so I got some coins from my LCS, and this one was labeled back in the 60s using a term of a rippled planchet. I didn't know if this was something that was a term used in the past or presently, but have never heard it before. The planchet is definitely rippled. What causes this? I am thinking it's some kind of planchet defect possibly, but hoping that you guys may have seen this before and can tell me what it is. Anyone collect these kind of things? It's rather cool. Your thoughts? Thank you.
There we go.
That it looks like, is that acid
Yeah.
or like a dryer coin or something?
Or whizzed. Or rock tumbler. Let's see.
I have a few of these myself, and I found out the hard way what it was.
Is that? That's kind of interesting. The deep part is just that thin, and all this is all like
Flat.
dug out.
I think it struck through elephant skin.
Wouldn't be far off. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's not the craziest strike through I would see.
Look at that. That's just. It's like pushed metal. What would that be an argument for acid or for whizzing with?
Or if it was whizzed, it might be like rotary emery cloth type of polishing.
Emery cloth.
Some of the polishers on Dremel tools and stuff have like an emery cloth flapping wheel rather than a wire wheel.
Interesting.
Is that tide going in or coming out? What is it?
What is what?
The tide is either coming in or going out.
Yeah. The moon is rising.
It does look like the beach at low tide.
Yeah. So I have to credit Paula for giving me hints about this one because she thought it was whizzed, mainly because of the direction of the metal being pushed across the letters and whatnot. It was interesting that it's on both sides.
It's kind of like Japanese sand sculpting.
Very cool.
Is it RPM?
Used to be.
I checked.
It
Yeah,
used to be. It used to be a small date. It used to be a small date too.
Yeah, I checked for a double die lid and bar L. Yeah.
It's kind of like you could blow on it and the whole coin would disappear, like it's made out of sand or something.
Well, so post-mint damage, I think, is the consensus. And how it was done, well, Carl will tell you his story for $5.
It's with a coupon.
Yeah, I think so, Shannon. All right. All right. So big news for the night. Who wants to share it?
Did anybody do any screen print, screenshots?
Oh, give me a second. I might be able to share.
There you go. That's worth the wait.
For those of you that hung out all night, before we get to our discussion topic, which is going to be what to do to prepare before you go to a coin show, some tips and tricks and things from the panel members that, our thoughts and maybe recent learnings that might help you. We have some news.
Give me a second here. I'm trying to do this on the fly.
Great coins tonight, guys. Thank you so much for sending all those in. Great pictures.
Very good submission.
If we didn't get your coin because you sent it this evening, we'll take a look at it, respond, and if you sent good pictures, good questions, and it's show worthy, we'll put it on the next show. You got the mint mark up there. You ready?
Let's see. Make sure that shows. Let me make sure I can show the whole thing.
I think Eric's going to come in and join us for this part right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he'll be on in a moment.
There he is.
Boom! Now it's a party.
Yeah, sorry everybody. I'm not feeling good tonight, so
Oh,
I've
no
just been
worries.
hanging out in the chat.
I was lucky, and even though I'm on call, I didn't get any calls, so that was a good thing.
You want me to put you front and center there, Jeff? You ready?
Yeah, go ahead. I think that's about as good as I'm going to be able to. Well, I don't know. Let me try to. I can scroll through so we can get. I just want to make sure we got a good view of this. Does that look center?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right, cool.
What does that say?
By the way, guys, this is the US Mint website.
Yes.
There is a huge release that everybody's been talking about, everybody's been waiting for, and the first official news to come out from the US Mint website is we have details on the 2021 Morgan. Is the peace dollar up too? Or just the Morgan?
The peace dollar is at the end. It looks like they're only doing one piece that I could tell.
Interesting. So we have details May 24th on the new Morgan quote unquote commemorative 100-year anniversary dollars. And yeah, it's pretty incredible. We have coins that'll have the CC Privy. Apparently the Privy's a hot success for them, so they're going to continue on with the tradition. They also have an O mint mark for New Orleans. And what is that, Denver as well. So we're going to have a Denver minted mint mark example.
Right. Denver's going to do Denver.
So the Privy mint mark is only a CC and an O.
Because they're no longer in business.
Yes. But Nico, to answer your question, no mintage limits yet. That is to be determined.
That peace dollar is probably going to be tough to get. They only have one listed.
I agree. I think that one's a sleeper.
Yeah.
They're not doing too many variants of that one.
Yeah.
Would you anticipate a limit per home?
Which I'm kind of surprised they're not doing an S and a D, but I guess it's because in 2021, 1921, they only had the P. So
I would guess that they would probably do one at most, probably two per home on this. I don't know, because I don't know. They might just limit it and let it fly. Who knows?
Nico is exactly right. My thoughts exactly. 2 on one day. That website is doomed. They're going to sell 5.
Well, it's funny. Do you see it's a 2-coin release on the 24th, and then another 2 coins on June 1st, and then another release, 2-coin release, June 7th. I think your guys' wallets are going to be hurting that day or that time of the
Yeah,
they should space it out by 2 weeks to catch paydays, man.
Wow.
There's a good possibility there's not going to be enough coins to go around for the collectors.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
With past experience, they're not going to have enough
pre-sales on them, I'm sure.
They're not going to be able to fill the orders that come in. And, we'll see if they've done some improvements to the website to handle the traffic this time around. But I think there's going to be some high demand for this.
Yeah. Speaking of that, and I'll go ahead and give an exclusive tip for our viewers here. When you go to order, do not get overzealous and start clicking the refresh and getting all crazy with the website. They have something I'm in information security, so I know a little bit about kind of what they've got set up there. They have something to keep the website from being slammed. They will limit. They'll actually black out your IP address for your device if they see too many queries or whatever coming from that IP address, that public IP address that you have. So be really careful and be very purposeful when you're out there, when you're ordering, so you do not get locked out. And I got greedy with the one back in November, and I thought I got a little bit too crazy with it, and I didn't realize they had that, and I wound up locking myself out.
You know how many times I tried doing that CAPTCHA? Man.
Oh my God.
Buses,
I found
everywhere.
I found a secret to that, though. So when you go in and you can say, remind me, send me a text, remind me, I recommend everybody do that, because in the link that they text you, it takes you right to the checkout page to check out.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, good idea.
So keep that in mind, because I was trying to get, was it the W Silver Eagle?
The enhanced?
Not the enhanced, the other one. The one they have with the gold.
Oh, the privy mark.
Yeah, so I was trying to get that one. I was doing the stupid CAPTCHA stuff and it kicked out. Wasn't able to get even logged in. But when I got the text, I clicked on it and it took me directly into the checkout page to check out.
Nice.
Yeah, the 99. That's exactly what it is. They're trying to prevent direct denial of service attacks. It's they do that on e-commerce, but I think the Mint turned it up that day to keep people from slamming the website too hard.
For those that are tech savvy, you could investigate a way to change your IP address by using that or something.
Yeah. Any other secrets that we could pass on to keep us from getting the coin, or we just going to share everything?
This is a smaller group. We could share with our
57 right now. Okay.
57 because you're loyal viewers and
Exactly.
get the tips, right?
Yeah, that's 57 other chances I don't get a chance to get a
Well,
coin.
that's a drop in the bucket compared to the 2 million people hitting the website at the same time.
Yeah, these aren't what folks you got to worry about. You got to worry about the collectors that have the exclusive Mint deal.
And have 80
Or
of
not the collectors, but the retailers.
80 of their friends are
Yeah, the dealers
double price
that have the contractual agreements, and they could do the early buys. Now, I don't know if this product will be eligible for that, because there are specific coins that they won't allow for the early buyout program.
They're going to be high demand, though. They're going to go for some serious dough on the secondary market.
My hope is that they see this as a series that's very that's been anticipated by collectors and their customers for a long time, that they'll actually have higher mintage limits on it. I almost hate to say that in one sense, but the other sense, just the fact that this is something I'd want for my collection.
1921 vintage. That's it.
Is that
1921?
Oh gosh, can you imagine?
$10,000 coins all day long, right?
It's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
They could do the mintage at 250K. It'll still sell out. I mean, it'll give everybody a fair chance to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still going to sell out.
Hey, we got
Nico, that's the world we live in, man. There's arbitrage all over the place. That's inescapable. So
capitalism.
It is what it is.
Capitalism.
What do you think the retail prices are going to be, ballpark?
A lot. I think it probably.
The privy marks are going to be
high.
Yeah, the privy marks are probably going to be between $100 and $200. The regular like Denver mints probably like 85 to 100. That's just a wild guess, but they might as well milk the cow while it's like
But the secondary market, they're going to be much more than that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean a lot.
You're going to see a lot of first day of issue, 5 on cheek, NGC, PCGS graded stuff. Wait, who said that? Subliminal message.
So you guys get ready, get your fingers ready to buy that, and you heard it here, the tips for your best chance. So thank you guys.
Yep. Bologna sandwiches from now until the sale, right?
And make sure you have your account set up with all your payment details before.
And nothing but ramen for the next 6 weeks. All right. So tonight's
I think the mintages will be okay. The one thing that they're not going to do is make so many of them so that way they're worthless, but they're going to keep the amount of the pieces that they make manageable. Now the privy mint marks are going to be a little bit more exclusive. I kind of think those will probably end up having mintages of like 50 or 75K. But the regular Denver, and I guess there's a Philly mint, Morgan, those are going to be a little bit more reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the proof Silver Eagle that sold out a few months ago. That had like a product limit of 300K on their website, and it sold out the same day. We might see like a 250 to 300K mintage on the regular release Morgans. The piece, I don't know, because there's only one. one variant of that coin.
Hopefully it's more than just, hopefully it's a little bit more to.
Now, is it going to have a single date or dual date, or are they going to do any other design changes?
I think they're just going to do the 2021 date on there and keeping the original Morgan, Liberty obverse and reverse.
If it
Same
was a
with
dual
these.
date, wouldn't it classify that as a bicentennial?
Well, bicentennial is 200 years,
200
right?
years,
It'd be,
yeah.
it'd be a centennial.
A centennial, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, commemorative.
like the 2014 W, I think, was a 50-year coin, right? From 1964 to 1914. So it's not necessarily bicentennial, but it's dual date.
Dual date.
Oh, you mean the Kennedy Gold or whatever?
Yeah,
it is?
Kennedy Gold. And I guess there's been a number of different examples of dual dates, but bicentennial.
Yeah.
So there's going to be silver and clad Morgans.
It should be all silver.
It's all silver.
Yeah, they'll do those all in silver, I would think.
I mean, would it be a travesty if they did clad? Like, it's like, hey, there was never 8 Morgans made in clad. So,
Well,
but,
would they be 90%ers, or do you think they'll do 3 9s, 4 9s?
probably 999. Seeing as how everything else is 999.
Yeah.
Yeah.
90%ers, that goes with the theme.
Isn't there a set coming out with a Morgan and a piece? Is that coming out soon too?
I thought they were going to.
Yeah, I thought they were going to make one. That might still be in play, but yeah, this is the first day that this news is dropped, so it's really hard to say what other plans they have.
When you go out and check the site, when you start seeing like a picture over here, they've got some more details on it to share.
Well, so tonight's discussion topic, there's a lot of shows. Things are opening back up. People are going to the shows. Dealers are getting out. There's a lot of stuff going around. Coins are hot, as you hear from this gentleman over here and his market reports and all his great videos that he's doing. Things have been heating up. Pretty hot right now. So I thought that we would share some things that might help you guys, especially for those of you who have been long time looking for coins, but all the coins that you see out there are so expensive. You may go to some of the bullion sites like APMEX or JM Bullion, or maybe you've gone to a number of dealer sites and you've been pricing this one coin that you wanted. So that is the thing I want you to capture, is that if you do a little investigation and you know what the price ranges are, and then you go to the show, you might be able to grab hold of an opportunity there. If there's a dealer that's, say, he's been sleeping, or he's been stuck at his desk because of COVID or whatever, he's not doing his market research, he doesn't realize that a coin has gone up by 20%. And maybe you get to snatch the deal of a lifetime when you go to these shows. So, that's not always true. Some dealers are so on it that they want to charge you 20% above the premium that you would find out there. So, but if you go in armed with that knowledge, you know what your price range is, and they go, oh, well, make me an offer, then you know what to make an offer of, right? Maybe you'll save hundreds of dollars. So just that was one tip I wanted to share with you to go in. For those that are hunting for specific coins for a collection, know your market, know your prices, know it, be ready to haggle and jump in there when you go to a show. I have plenty of others, like this is my other one I'm going to do, and then I'll let the others talk, because I take a bag full of baggies and flips, because I buy coins that are in paper flips with staples, and I buy slabs, and I buy other coins, and I don't want those staples scratching up my slabs. I don't want my slabs getting scratched up, so I carry the bag of these And you know, while the dealers, I hand him the money, and he's making change. I'm putting the slabs in there, and I'm grabbing the receipt, and I put it in a nice little safe spot. So, just be prepared, think ahead. There you go. Anybody else want to add stuff?
I always like to rent a kid and bring a little kid with me because dealers always want to give free coins to the little kid.
Corn boy, corn boy.
The only thing I'd like to add to that, besides making sure what Shay was saying, make sure you have supplies. Two things, a backpack to put the stuff in, so you're just not trying to fill your jean pockets up with them. And the other thing is for people that are set collectors, it's a good opportunity to pick up coins for your set, and you don't have to pay shipping costs when you order them from a third-party site. So you're saving money right there just on shipping.
Nice.
Thanks, Eric.
I'll add something.
Walk around the room and make several trips around. You see what everybody's got, and then make a second, third tour around before you sit down and take someone seriously and start looking.
Yeah, your local guys. That a lot of times, those local guys are more apt to kind of make you a deal, and you can sit a little bit longer at their table and spend the time looking through the junk box or whatever, or in the back of the room. Like when you first come in, you've got your heavy hitter slab dealers and guys with just ridiculous stuff. Towards right there in the back, those are your local guys or regional guys that made the trip up there on their own dime, and they're staying in a cheap hotel or whatever, and they're more apt to kind of make you a little bit of a deal, and will let you spend some time at their table. And it's good to get to know the local guys, because if you need something, you've got a local contact at that point, somebody you can call and request something from them. One of this right here, that is not your price guide for that show. Do not do prices out of the red book. If you're looking at some serious stuff, you might want to consider investing in a single copy of the gray sheet. That way you can see what dealers are paying for the coins. That way you've got a little bit more of a leg up on what they're paying and what you can negotiate with. And as far as security is concerned, just be very situational awareness. If you've got like a bag, purse, or whatever with you, thieves are notorious for hanging out at shows and stuff like that. Keep your bag in between your legs while you're sitting there looking at coins or whatever. Certainly, or loop your leg around the arm strap of the backpack or whatever. Keep from somebody snatching that.
Yeah, try not to take things out to your car so you can go back in and do some more shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Don't keep it with you.
Excellent.
Do dealers frown on people with lots of pockets or people with backpacks?
Yeah. That's the other thing. If you're looking at coins and there's a dealer, working several people at his table or whatever, try to be really purposeful about where you put your hands and stuff like that.
I keep everything right on top.
Yeah.
Look at, and that way they know that you're, put it out here, set it aside if you want to look at it further, and just,
Adrian got me this bag for $20 on Amazon, and so it's a cross shoulder bag. It's not a fanny pack. It's a little bit more manly sometimes. I told her, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do a fanny pack.
If you have to name your bag manly, it's not manly.
It's so not manly, but hey, that's all right.
Man purse.
Yeah.
Man purses are coming back into style.
$20 on Amazon, and
Speaking of which, if you can, take cash.
Yeah.
Dealers
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
cash.
A lot of them don't take credit.
I didn't see a single one that took credit at this show in Houston last week. So, yeah.
And I usually
you would probably have a hard enough time sending a PayPal payment to someone because there are a lot of dealers that don't like dealing with that.
Hold on. Let me Venmo that cash to you, man.
Cash App.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is my Woody page. And so I made a little matrix of all years of Woodies, and I have a little check mark and what the grade is so that I can easily see what years I'm looking for and what grade if I want to upgrade. Stuff like that, like cheat sheets, man.
Oh yeah, nothing's worse than going to, like I've done this before where I didn't bring my nickel list. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, in my high-end uncirculated album, am I missing this? And I have accidentally bought something that I had already. It just happens. Somebody was asking if there's any shows, a list of shows or whatever.
CoinZip.
CoinZip. There is a show this weekend that I am more than likely going to go to. It's up in North Georgia. It's the GNA, Georgia Numismatic Association show. I'll put a link down there in the chat. I'll be there, and I will probably have my hat or my shirt on.
You see my little cheat sheet on Type 1, Type 2 sets. So I love cherry picking the sets, man, because you can turn around sets. You could buy them for $8, $10 and turn around and sell them for over $200. You get the right sets.
Oh, like the 81s and 79.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
I usually just go look for varieties, and I like to find the toners that are not in holders, and then because toners I think they're moving up. I think a lot of the new collectors really like the toners. So
Spiked Head Die Crack had a comment about get business cards to buy rolls because they don't bring that many to the shows like Lincoln Cents and rolls. And so it's get business cards, but also maybe make your own business cards and be ready to give people your contact information and saying what you're interested in if they have what you want, but they didn't bring it with.
Another tip is if you go to the bank the day of or the ATM, everybody gets cash the morning of the show. If you could plan a couple days in advance and maybe get some 5s and 10s instead of the 90% of the people that are just going to have 20s and 100s, that actually helps the dealers out because they're not bringing $500 in singles and $500 in 5s to make change for 20s and 100s.
Now, some dealers do prefer the 100s because they got the security strip in them. But, yeah.
Right.
Kind of depends on how much you're going to spend, I suppose.
I mean, if you're picking up $3, $4 coins all day long for your set collection, my suggestion is have a stack of 5s and a stack of 10s with you. That helps the dealer out.
Yeah.
Eric made a good point. If you have a notes list with all of the hit coins you're looking for, that'd be awesome. But even more importantly, on your smartphone device, most people have them. Bookmark all of the variety sites too.
PCGS, CoinFacts, NGC Variety Plus, all those.
Yeah.
If you go,
Gold is another good one.
If you go to
a lot of Morgans out at the show.
If you go to LiveCoin QA, there is a informational sites page with all those links on it. So you can use that as your home base. You got links to everything.
Yeah, because I'll get on CoinFacts and look for the varieties that I want to, if I'm looking at Franklin's or whatever.
Mhm.
Are dealers interested in buying as well as selling at these shows?
From a,
Oh yeah.
So you don't know how much you can learn just by sitting at a table. So I'll sit at a table that has a lot of boxes of coins, or the pile of coins, and I'll be looking through those coins, and I'm always listening to what people are saying, the dealers' interaction with buyers. I've left the room. I make sure I'm moving away so that they can do their business and conduct stuff. And there's all sorts of things that you'll learn from these guys, and how they're buying, the questions they're asking, what people are getting for their coins. And, sorry to say, but 20% below bid is pretty standard on a lot of stuff. But different dealers, and if you're listening to that stuff, it'll kind of make you aware of what you need to talk about. Say you did have something to sell, go around to some of the tables and listen to what they're saying. You'll pick up what they're paying, what they're looking for, that sort of thing.
and some dealers won't buy certain stuff too, so you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, you take your 1960D RPM, they may not want it. Bummer. But there are plenty of other things that they are looking for. So.
And another thing at shows, you can submit your coins to most of the grading companies, depending on who's going to be there. So they read up on some shipping costs and all that also.
I know CoinZip will announce if Annex is at the show, and they're usually at the shows, the local show, probably more so than any of the others. Read their instructions, go download one of their forums, figure it out in advance, get your 2.5 by 2.5 flips, get your coins in there, because the less you have to have them handle your coin, probably the better. If they can just take it, see it, it's in the right flip, they'll rubber band it all together and put it in a safe place until they take it off to.
And Annex likes the 2.5, I believe, instead of the So
that's right. So I got me a box of those. They're compared to a regular flip.
A 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5.
Oh man, that means I have to buy some more stuff.
Well, they'll provide you with them. You just have to put them in there.
Yeah.
But now you got them handling your coin, and they don't wear gloves usually, and they're just doing it by the edge. Have you ever walked up to a table and asked somebody, is this an unopened roll? And they go, oh, I don't know, let me look. And they dump the roll out. They open it up and dump it in their hand. And you're like, oh my God, I wanted that roll, but now I don't.
There was one dealer at the Vegas coin show. He had a bunch of Franklin $half and rolls. And I guess this guy next to me was wanting to buy the whole roll. He didn't have a price on it, so he opened it up and goes, well, I can't sell you this roll for that cheap, $1,500 for this roll because it's all full bell lines or something. And I'm like, why wouldn't you go through it first and put a price on it, so that way you're not picking your customer off?
I'm sure dealers go around before the show. Often they're given time, and they'll go pick up stuff from other dealers that they know they need for the show. And I've seen people pick up a roll from one guy, only to drop it off and sell it right away to another person at the table. It's kind of interesting. So
that's another thing. If you like this show in particular, they've got a $50 early bird pass. The early bird pass, if you're buying a lot of coins and you expect to be able to get first pick on a lot of stuff, the early bird pass can pay for itself.
I guess if you got there at the right time, you could find the guy that was paying the most for buying and the guy that's selling it for the least, and make a little money while you're sitting there at the show.
I just know the A&A show with the stuff I was able to get in that first hour.
That's not even right.
was ridiculous.
The other suggestion If you guys go to these dollar boxes on these dealer tables and you spend an hour and a half going through it,
Yeah.
buy something.
Yeah.
Throw them a bone.
Mm-hmm. 10, $15, something decent for their time.
Yeah. You're
You're
taking
holding
up
up that
speed.
seat. Yep.
Oh, did someone bring up if you cherry pick a really nice coin that you don't just buy that, you also buy a couple other cheap coins?
Yeah.
No, that's a good
The
point.
fact that you cherry picked a bomb.
And don't be like dancing, going, "Look what I got from you."
Don't pay $20 for a coin, and then after you pay for it, you look at the dealer and go, "Thanks for the $500 cherry pick."
Don't do that, because you know what? I see the same guys at all the shows. It's the same 40 dealers every time.
Don't
do that.
Yeah, don't do an end zone dance.
You can
And
buy
you can always take that cherry pick over to the grading table and have them grade it. You do that too.
Hey, and I've bargained slabs. This guy, I walked up to a table, so I was there right when the doors open. And the first thing I do is I scan for, like easy, quick, cheap pickups. You got PR 69 decam proofs for $1. Okay, I'll take those. Just stuff you can look for right away. If you go the second day, almost all that stuff's gone and picked through already. So if you get there, that's where it gets to work.
That's a good point, Shay. If it's a multi-day event, you got to keep in mind that toward the end of the event, like let's say if it's a Friday through Sunday show, a lot of the dealers are not setting up on Sunday or they're leaving early. So, and by that time of the 3 days, a lot of the good stuff is gone. So, with coin shows, if it's a single day show, get there as early as you can. It's worth it, even if you have to pay an extra little bit, like Jeff had said, the early bird fee.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a 3-day show, go on the first day. You're just going to find a lot more. Yeah, there'll be more other people, but I guarantee you it'd be a better treasure hunting experience because there's a lot more to pick.
I went the first day to the Vegas show, and it was actually kind of dead, so it was nice because I could.
Oh, that's good.
Float to each table, and I sat at one table for a while. I cherry picked 4 coins off of it. So.
Wanda says, "I'll be broke by noon." Yeah. It's look for the coins that you want to get first. Get those, then go.
It's
crazy.
Yeah, my last show was a little bit like my experience in Vegas. I was hitting the ATM machine after 2 hours.
Paying the $10 fee,
and that wasn't the coin show in Vegas. That was the real Vegas. Yeah,
slot machines.
Yeah, I'm a degenerate gambler. I'm telling you, I can't do it. It's not my thing.
Yeah, I lost my slot machine money the first 2 days and gained it all back the last day and a half. So.
I would love there to be a coin shop at a casino because any of the winnings, I would just go over and buy a coin because I'm not going to be able to put that back into the machine if it's.
They
right?
They have those ones where they you put the quarters in and it pushes the stuff over. The casinos at the cruise ships have all those. And you're always like bumping them to try to get the stuff to fall off the thing.
Yeah. Coin pusher.
Yeah.
Well, it was cool. I forgot what casino had it. It was in Vegas when we went there a few years back. But they actually had a vending machine with gold bars. Yeah, that was cool. Like Credit Suisse and all that great stuff. It was awesome.
I spent $2,000 and I won myself this $800 gold bar.
I still have not won a prize at any show I've ever been to. Have y'all won anything?
My daughter won one. They had a YN show at it was actually almost a year ago because that was the last show that we went to. They had a YN show and she ended up winning a 99 silver proof quarter set and some other thing. It was one of those It was awesome. It was one of the raffles you sign up for, and you get a ticket. Yeah, she won one. It actually came in like 6 weeks later in the mail, and I was like, "What in the world is this?" It was under my name. I opened it, and sure enough, it was from the Coin Club that was hosting it.
Hey, you want some ice cream? I'll trade you for the coins.
And she'll do it too. And then she'll trade
The way I see it, it came under your name, so it's your coin.
Yeah.
It's another reason for Carl's coin boy.
You know what? I do need to bring the kid. He might slow me up a little bit, but it might be worth it with the free stuff.
Hey, I've seen kids at some of these shows doing better jobs than the adults.
Yeah.
I did come to a table where this guy was in his early teens, and he'd been selling coins for 6 years already.
Yeah.
And he had his own table. He had his own coins.
Mhm.
He had, like multi-$1,000 toned coins. His niche was toned coins. He had Morgans and old dollars, seeded dollars, and all sorts of stuff in his table.
You have like $100,000 in inventory, and he's like 13. You're like,
Yeah.
what just happened here?
Don't doubt those kids. I mean, I know a couple of them. They'll knock your socks off.
Yeah.
I know this one kid that when I think it was like 4 years ago, there was a show in the San Francisco Bay Area that we went to, and the kid was like 16, and he set up his own table and all that stuff, and he had some pretty impressive items. And just out of the blue, I'm like, how'd you obtain all this? And he said, well, I do a lot of stuff online. I do Shopify and all this stuff. I'm like, really? So yeah, the kid was making like $50,000 back in the day, drop shipping from on Shopify and Amazon. So that was his pastime. He's like, oh, I just love doing this, and
His dream job, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, these kids, man, they are taking full advantage of the
I saw one at Long Beach. He was selling a bunch of stuff at Long Beach. And he was actually the one that was making all the deals too. Oh, I don't need that. I'm looking for this, and it's crazy.
That's cool. I mean, you got to respect that. There are a number of young numismatists and dealers. I can't believe I'm saying that. That are after a while they're going to take over what all six of us do, and that's just sad to say, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can only hope, right? That's the next generation of coin collectors and hobbyists, and we hope that more come into the hobby so that what we're holding on to is desired by somebody out there someday.
Yeah. Well, I think the hobby is a little bit more progressive, and it's more in tune with the younger audience than it used to be like 15 years ago, when people look at it as truly like an old guy type of hobby, and now everybody's doing it. And I think the appeal with precious metals and silver, and when it ran up 10 years ago and all that stuff, really vaulted just the information about not only PMs but coins and all that stuff into a younger generation. I've seen more like 18 to 35-year-olds at shows these days than I ever have.
Mm-hmm. And that's very true. When I took the grading class, there were a couple kids 2 tables away from me that were, they were knocking it out of the park with the grades.
Is that a 55D on his picture? That looks like 55D double die.
Look at this guy.
I asked. There was not a single 55 DD01 at this show this time. I like going to different tables and seeing the big varieties, and then saying, "Hey, can I look at that?" And yeah, man. And I got it in my hand with my loop, and I'm looking these, $5,000 and $10,000 varieties. I'm like, yes, I love it. I'm like drooling here, and
There was a dealer at the Vegas show. He had all like really old holders, with the yellow CAC stickers on all of them.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Whoa.
Yeah. I said, you know how much those are worth? He said, I know, priceless. I said, yeah, probably.
Oh.
Hey, Shay,
Eric's got an
that's when you want
excellent
to take
point.
that coin and do a selfie with it and put it on Instagram, making the deals.
Yeah.
Well, what's that new thing everybody's doing now is the fungible token or whatever.
Yeah. NFTs.
Yeah.
NBA Top Shot is a really notable one out there. I wish I would have gotten into it 2 months ago. I would have had like $500,000 in non-existent tangible investments.
I don't see the point of whatever.
Goes along next to that toilet paper.
Yeah. My $100 bill toilet paper roll is looking better and better every day.
It's like stock options in the 90s. Well, all right. We're coming up. Now it's 2 hours in, and a great.
Okay, Shay, before you get too ahead of yourself, James has been racking his brain and asking us this very question like all night. So I don't know how much it would be worth. If it's an original bank wrap roll with toned editors, as you would expect a B-roll of Lincoln's would be, then I'm sure it would carry a little bit of a premium. Can't really tell you for sure.
Are you selling the roll outright, or are you breaking the roll up and selling the individual coins?
And is it small or large?
And it all depends on what somebody wants to pay for the tone.
So
coin.
I paid for a 60p large roll. I paid 70 cents each for B rolls this weekend.
I think he said it was a large date. So
for small date, it's $100 a roll. Is what I paid. So you've got a big difference there, right?
So that's what, $250 per coin?
Yeah.
So that's solid.
Because I send my toners in to NGC bulk, and if they grade out, great. If not, it's fine. Because I know, but sometimes I usually luck out, and I usually get some of them end up in slabs at Mint State 66.
Yeah. So James bid is 70 cents a roll on the large dates.
And Adam, they would normally come back like red brown, right? Because they're
sometimes red brown, sometimes brown. The brown ones I think are actually a little more valuable than the red brown. I've noticed. So it's just it's kind of interesting how it's moving towards that. But I think it's because the colors are a little bit more vibrant on the brown versus the red brown. So.
James, more than likely, if you had toners on the end of that roll and it's a legitimately original, of the period bank wrap type roll, I mean, you can honestly make the case that those end roll coins are legitimate toners, and that's what people pay more to have is the toners. But if you look all up and down eBay, there's a lot of fake toners out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of artificially toned coins. You have to. The thing is, some of them do end up in slabs. It does happen, and people pay big bucks for them. So, I mean, if you look at great collections, I think Sean even reported on that. Is it with 1954D? That was like 64 red brown or something. It sold for like $5,000. It's just insane.
That's the most undeserved money of a coin I've ever seen. But in my estimation,
But I think I do agree with you. I think that's too much for some. When you can find a coin just like that out in the wild and pay $5 for it. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I used to see coins like that sell for $500-$600, and it's not a top pop grade. It is a red brown or a brown, but it's like, man, that's a lot of money for a toned, common date mid 50s wheat. But yeah, if it's a
top pop, it will sell for some money. Now I have to admit, because the registry set, they want those top pop brown 66, 67.
Yeah.
So they will. I sold a 1954 on Great Collections toner, a 66 brown, which was the top pop. It was NGC, but it sold for like $350. So
Case in point. Wow, that's impressive.
yeah.
Let's see if we can get in there. 1960,
70 cents. Yep.
70 cents.
Yeah, the 60s covered up, but yeah, we saw it. Yeah, you have it's at a diagonal, so you're
There we go. Right there. See, $100 for the small, 70 cents for the large. Anyway, this is good. So, like the early 40s, we're talking, $100, $180 a roll. But Ant was asking about the ATB quarters, Clag proof. It really ranges. I mean, it looks like it ranges from $30 to $140, depending on which year. Like the 2012, a roll of those.
I think he was alluding to the S Mint business strike coins that they sold in bulk. I think they sold them in like bags of 100 and maybe rolls too. Those ones.
I love buying the bags of quarters at shows and the bags of Lincoln cents and stuff like the mint sewn bags. You find them there, and they're awesome.
I have a whole bag of 73Ds. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't go through it all. It's taking forever.
Getting back to James Eubank's question about the 60p large date rolls, we didn't mention, go through the sold listings on eBay to see what the market says for tube rolls of 60p large dates.
Yeah, I imagine you could probably a few bucks. I mean, if you see what bid is, and you can go to a show probably this week and buy them at that price for bid, right? 70 cents. If you're paying more than that, understand you're paying a premium, but you may not be able to go to the show. So pay the premium, right? Or maybe they have shipping included in the listing. You get 5 rolls for $10 or something. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not unreasonable. It depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for that, a DDO or DDR on that 60p? Or are you looking for coins you want to grade? Or what are you looking for, right? It kind of depends. And then you balance that with the investment you're willing to make in order to get that. And it's going to be different for every person. There's no single solution. There's no single answer, right? This one buys coins in a different way than I do, and I'm sure Blue Ridge does as well. We all do things a little bit differently, but we're after different things. I want every minor variety I can get my hands on. They may not really want to do that. He cherry picks he gets the full bell lines, Franklin's and the Bugs Bunny, the varieties not on the label, and he can turn around and make some.
In fact, I cherry picked some of those this weekend, so I was out again.
Congrats.
People are missing them. Come on. Get with the program here, people.
But one thing overlaps that we all have to understand is that we do a lot of the same practices, whatever direction of the hobby brings us. There's a lot of things that we do that are very similar, and those are good practices. Things like just being prepared. Hey, I've been to a show one time. I forgot my magnifier, my loop, and I'm like, that's it's like now you got to buy one from the dealer that sells all the product, out in front of the double doors, things like that. It's doing all your research in advance, doing your research at the show. It's different now. You could go on your phone and search auction archives, and because you can negotiate the price of coins at the show, unless they're like $1, then you just pay the $1. But
I want it for 90 cents.
I'll give you 90 cents, and I'm not paying the tax. You are.
It's not a garage sale.
I cherry pick rolls for gradable coins is really what I do, and if I find some nice varieties, it's a bonus, But like wheat cent rolls, 54, 57, 52, 51, 50, 53. All those coins in Mint State 66, they're going for anywhere from $70 to $100 now for 66. So, and usually I'll find 3 or 4 or 5, sometimes 10 or 12 66s in a roll. So
That'll be the next step for me.
James, that's just the direction of the market. People, collectors are leveraging OBWs now.
Oh yeah, they're going for a lot more money than they used to, for sure.
Yeah, well, to give you an idea, 5 years ago, I bought a BU roll of 43D steel cents from Chuck for $210, and I thought, man, that's a lot of money. Do you know how much that same roll is going for today?
400.
Yeah, maybe a little higher too.
Somebody in one of the Facebook groups, I don't know if you guys saw it, it was a 36 half roll, 1936 half roll, OBW, sold for $285 for a half
Oh my
roll,
goodness.
which is too much. I think it's way too much.
Wait, of a 36 or
Yes.
36S?
1936.
Lincoln's.
P, yeah,
Okay, so bid right now is 165
for a whole roll.
for a whole roll.
It's sold for a half roll. I mean, it's insane how much these people are paying for these rolls. It's just too much.
But if you found one or two 1936 DO1, you got the whole thing.
Oh yeah, well, see, and I think that's probably why it was going for so much money.
Now, was it a half roll that was in a paper kind of like a half shotgun style?
Yes.
Roll?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was like period correct or whatever.
Yeah. And I bought a 54 from the guy, a 1954 half roll, Wells Fargo roll. I bought it for like $45, which is decent. It's not a bad price. For 54, you get 166 out of there, pays for the whole roll. So
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
67, well, you're going to buy a lot of rolls with a 67 and a 54.
So in one way, it's an investment, but like all investments, there is risk to throwing those dice, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
There's always risk, but with bank wrap rolls, you got to remember that your investment is the roll. So it gets to a point where if you break a roll and let's say you pay $500 for a 1940 OBW, and at that point you're really risking losing $400. I mean, you could go through the roll and let's say that, and I've seen this, the paper wrap roll was at one point, let's say in Florida, where there's a lot of humidity.
Carbon spot.
Yeah. And then you get a lot of carbon spotting and all that stuff throughout all the coins, then you would have, wasted all that money.
That's why I try not to pay too much for, if I can get a decent, I just look at the risk versus reward, 54, 57, something like that. I mean, if you can get 166 and you only pay $50 for the roll or even, 80, you're still good,
But know that going in. I mean, know what the potential is on the low end and the high end. Know what you're willing to pay on the low end and the high end, and then go and bid on that. And look for other places other than a single auction where you're competing against a whole bunch of people that can't get coins anywhere, right? So yeah, be educated. There you go, Eric. So check your other local sources. I've seen. I don't want to be too negative, but I've seen rolls go for $15, $20, $30 that you can go search real quickly on eBay and find for $1.50, $2. Like, why are you doing this? Do you just? I guess there's a whole lot of supporting of those folks, and that's fine too. But hey,
well, I think a lot of people get caught up in that moment when they're auctioning, they're bidding, and I'm trying to outbid you.
I've been there.
There's a point where you say, okay, this is too much. I'm not doing this anymore.
Adam cannot beat me on this coin, this Franklin $50. It's mine. I've got to have it. And he's saying the same thing. Shay's not going to take another one from me.
Yeah, there are people that get too wrapped up in the emotional aspect of the auction bidding that they end up paying way too much for a coin, and then a day later they looked at their invoice on Great Collections or Heritage. They're like, wow, I went a little overboard, and you start to have the the buyer's remorse set in and all that. And it happens all the time. With auction, you just don't want to be the loser.
Yeah.
You always want to get the top winning bid, even at the expense
and who's to say when you go resell it if you'll get the money that you paid for it? Because you're always going to have a different environment of buyers that might not want that coin as bad as the two that you were bidding with before.
And especially if there's two coins, two of the same coin in the auction, wait for the second one. Right?
Yeah.
The first one's going to go big, right? Yeah.
I think it's, everybody gets caught up in it. You just have to kind of set your limit and don't go past it because you might regret it.
Same thing for shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do what Jeff did. Don't go withdraw out of the ATM.
Hey, the convention center is attached to the Bellagio, and there is an ATM machine right in the middle of both of those.
Yeah, there's plenty of ATMs there.
All right, I'm going to give him a pass on that one.
Yeah, but here's what happened. I bought this, and I literally have the two coins that did this to me. I bought this, a 33 bust half.
Wow.
And right next to it was this. And he was willing to give me a deal.
Very nice.
I just happened
Was it
to have
really a
not
deal after you
looking at
paid
it
the ATM fees?
I'm sorry?
Hey,
Was it really a deal after paying the ATM fees?
Yeah. It was a deal. Yeah, it was a deal. It was the last day.
A lot of things now will refund your ATM fees now.
It was the last day of the show.
I didn't know you were into those early bust half dollars and dollars. Huh?
A little bit. I've dabbled. Ken got me into them when I won that one on the big show.
That'll do it.
I will say this. I think bust half dollars are still affordable for what they are. In contrast to the bust quarters, which are ridiculously expensive for like the same dates.
Yeah. Yeah.
But very nice. Those are very nice, what we call circulated cameo coins you got there, Jeff. Especially the first one.
The art to them is finding ones that are not screwed up,
clean,
that have not been clean, that have not been messed up. That is the challenge with those coins.
Have you researched the Overton on those by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any R7s in there?
No. We were talking about, tools and stuff to keep in our arsenal. I kept one of those little millimeter, what you have is what do they call these? It's a calibration, little calibration stick. You get with a scope.
Yeah.
It does millimeters. Well, that's what Overton uses when he's talking about measuring like die cracks and milling and stuff like that. So I keep that handy. In fact, I need to make sure that gets in my bag.
All right. Oh, what Ant was asking which brand on your camera?
Oh, we're going back and forth about cameras. Yeah, he's asking. That is a.
Michael, I don't know of a 1967 with a double ear. You might want to take a look and see if it's just MD. But they some services do offer cleaning services. They'll like Annex had $20 for your whole order or something to that effect. But keep in mind, when you clean that stuff off, it leaves behind a cleaned area of the coin, and they're liable to mark it as cleaned, and they can further damage the coin as well, and it's not their fault if you release them of that liability. So weigh the value, look at the values of that coin, and if it's not worth it, just go find you a nice slab one at the show and pay $10-15 for it. You know, sometimes it's just not worth it. But relook at that ear, because it's not on the list of known doubled ears as far as I can tell. It's not on my short list. I go from 55 to 71, 55D, 55, 55D, and 71S. I didn't have anything in between on the doubled ear.
I think 47 has one.
Yeah, 40, the early, like, so 36, 39, 41, 42, 42S, 44, 45, 47, and then 55, the big one. 55D with the other one, and 71S. And then 84, 88, 97, 99, 2006, and 2009. And 2019. And 2018 now. Yes, that's right.
18D, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's a nice little short set.
We talked about short sets last month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, we ready to wrap it up? All right. Well, thank you, everybody that was here with us tonight. Thank you for staying for the news and for the discussion. I thought it was a great discussion. We had some great coins earlier on, and thank you to our moderators. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Paula and Cindelicious and Coin Dragon and everybody who was here with us. We thank you. Send your images and coin questions to our info@livecoinqa.com, and we'll be sure and get you a response in the coming week. Always happy to see a repeat sends, so don't be bashful. We'd like to, try not to send more than 3 emails, but up to that we can pretty much handle. So any final thoughts from anybody?
Just thank you for everybody showing up. This was a nice evening.
All right.
Excellent.
A lot of good interaction in the chat. Good questions. And commentary, jokes.
Take care. Have fun. Good luck at those shows. We hope the info we provided helps you get a great deal, and keep on searching. Take care, y'all.
Good night, all.
Thank y'all.